This unit, we will be focusing on 3 essential learning strategies: retrieval practice, spacing, and interleaving, all 3 of which you can see here. But before we get to that, you need to take a 2-question flash quiz. Feel free to pause the screen if you need time to reflect and retrieve the answer from your memory. Your mind needs deep sleep to learn. This occurs more frequently when you get 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night. What you just did was a form of retrieval. You were forced to think back to concepts from previous units to respond correctly. Retrieval practice is the act of trying to recall information without having it directly in front of you. Retrieving information is far more effective for long-term retention than cramming information. Another example of retrieval practice is using a retrieval box. Using note cards might not be new to you, but there's a catch. Research has shown that students tend to drop cards out of their decks too soon after they've mastered them. Ideally, a fact should be successfully retrieved 3 times before a student moves on from it. Once students can recall an item, they tend to believe they have learned it. This leads students to terminate practice rather than practice retrieval, a strategy choice that ultimately results in poor retention. Using a retrieval box helps prevent this. The detailed instructions for building out and using a retrieval box is in the reading material. We highly encourage you to read it, review it, and use it. Long-term retention is more likely when you spread lessons and retrieval opportunities out over time rather than cramming it all at once. This strategy is called spacing, which is a combination of engaging in retrieval practice multiple times while also engaging in those retrievals over time. To the right is the outcome of research comparing college students who completed practice problems using a crammed approach, specifically 10 problems in 1 week, versus a spaced approach, specifically 5 problems across 2 weeks. Explained in this visual, you can see that you can learn more effectively in half the time by spacing. More details are included in the reading material. Interleaving is a process where you mix, or interleave in other words, multiple subjects or topics while you study in order to improve your learning. Blocked practice, on the other hand, involves studying one topic very thoroughly before moving on to another topic. For example, if you are in Chapter 9 in your science textbook, study contents from Chapter 9, then Chapter 4, then Chapter 6. Using another example, if you're in a personal finance class in your budgeting unit, go back to your credit unit and see how borrowing money for a car relates to your overall budget, tying the 2 topics together. Once again, interleaving is simply rearranging the order of retrieval opportunities during spacing without changing the content to be learned, which can increase or even double student learning. We included a course retrieval tool as a resource in this unit for specific examples you can use and draw from to practice and study for your classes. The Feynman technique is also effective. Using this strategy, choose a concept to learn, teach it to yourself or someone else, return to the source material if you get stuck, then simplify your explanation and create analogies. More details can be found in the reading material, where you should turn to next to review what you have learned this unit.